The Chicago Marathon is one of the best supported races in the whole world, and getting to the start line is an achievement in itself. But what are the things that you need to avoid during the Chicago Marathon? Now, the Chicago Marathon is an epic race, and many runners and spectators will have an incredible experience. To maximise this, I have compiled a list of things to be aware of and to try and avoid before the Chicago Marathon. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way you will see all of my previous running videos and my future ones as well, including my top 10 tips and hacks on the Chicago Marathon. So check that video out after this one. There was simply too much to cram in one video. But here are my things to try and avoid for the Chicago Marathon. Don't trust your GPS watch for the first few miles of the course. It's probably not going to be 100% accurate. The race starts in the city, and with all the skyscrapers around, the signal tends to be patchy at best. A few ways to mitigate this are paying closer attention to the roadside race markers and manually hitting the lap button when passing those roadside markers. Alternatively, sticking to a pacer may be beneficial. So with this in mind, don't go out too fast, as what your watch says, it might be lying to you. Go steady and keep it easy and ease into the first few miles. I found this started to get a little bit better around mile 4, but beware as you head back towards the downtown area later on in the race, your GPS may get a little bit wonky again. Also, tell your supporters to check the official app and arrange what side of the course they're going to be on so that you can kind of look out for them and know where they're going to be if your timing's out a little bit. Don't avoid the red carpet. On the many bridges you'll pass over, you'll notice that the race organisers have carpeted over the metal areas, so look out for them, and I'd suggest tend to favour them. This will give you some cushioning over the metal gratings. It will also make you be wary of the non-carpeted areas if it's been raining, as it may be a potential slip risk. You also feel like a celebrity running down the red carpet when there's loads of people cheering your name as well. If you do get stuck off the carpet, it's not a massive worry, as the bridges, they're not mega long anyway. Don't miss out on those Startline hacks. One of the biggest mistakes I saw was the massive queues in the main participant area for the toilets. I found that many of the starting corrals had separate portaloos next to the corral entries. There was way less queuing and perfect for those pre-race nerves. Once you get into your corral or starting gate, it can be quite a while before you cross the start line. Try to settle your nerves and conserve your energy. If you can hold off using the restroom for the first 5 to 7 miles, that will hold you in good stead, as the queues will start to fan out a little bit as you get further into the course. Don't leave it too late to pick up your bib at the expo. The Marathon Expo is held at McCormick Place, and it's not the most convenient of locations. As you can imagine, with over 40,000 runners, it tended to get particularly busy on the last pickup day on the Saturday. If you can, I'd suggest picking up your bib either on the Thursday or the Friday. It's going to be a lot less busier. I picked mine up on the Thursday and all the exhibition stalls were open, and I didn't have to wait long at all for my bib pickup. I've seen reports of many people having a lot longer delays on the Saturday, so if you can avoid the Saturday, I'd advise you to do so. Don't forget the final hill. Now, when you research the Chicago route, you'll hear lots of people talking about the dreaded final hill. I'll be honest, before I ran Chicago, it was on my mind, and I even thought, I knew it was a flat course, but I'll stick a couple of short hills at the end of some of my training runs. In reality, it's not as bad as everybody says. It's more the placement of it on the marathon route. 26 miles into a 26.2 mile race, right at the end. Once you turn onto Michigan Avenue, it's a fairly straight road home, which allows you to visualize yourself reeling in the rest of the course that you see in front of you. As you turn from Michigan Avenue onto Roosevelt Road, the hill in question welcomes you for that final challenge. The crowd will give you that last needed boost, and just round the corner you can sometimes even hear the announcer at the finish line. So remember that it's there, prepare for it, and grit it out. and enjoy that final boost. Be prepared for a slightly longer post-race walk. After you finish, it's a pretty long walk, maybe a mile to get to the supporter pickup zones and your bag check. Grab the fuel that's offered to you, and when you feel that you're able to, start taking those calories back on. Plan how you and your friends and family want to meet after the race, and remember to plan for an agreed meet-up place after the race. If you're anything like me, you'll be physically fatigued and mentally drained, so make sure you've got those plans in place before the race. Consider not using headphones or earbuds. Okay, so this is a very personal one, so do as you please, but personally, the whole course is an absolute scream tunnel. So consider ditching the headphones for at least the beginning of the race. The crowds in Chicago, they really are fantastic, and soaking it all in is a right that you've earned and should take advantage of. The course is lined with noise, and it's going to be so much more entertaining than any playlist. It's one of the most supported marathon majors, and it really did take me by surprise. Make sure you absorb the sights and the different neighbourhoods as you pass through. The city really is electric, and it feeds you with energy. Truly, of all the races I've ever done, in terms of support, it's probably the most encouraged I've ever felt. I did put my music back on for probably about 2 miles of the 26 as I needed to mentally regroup. But in general, consider tuning into the crowd instead. It will also help you hear your family and your supporters on the side.
He's got his headphones in. Ross! No, he's not. Ross! No, he's there. He's got his headphones in!
Don't bring in prohibited items into the participant area. Pay close attention to the list of prohibited items on race day. Though you can bring your fuel belts and handheld water bottles, you might be asked to empty them while going through security. There's no need to be worried about not having water in the starting pens, as organisers do have water available near the start corrals. Remember, at Chicago, you are not allowed to take in your hydration vests. To be honest, I did see some runners with them, but I wouldn't risk it as there were so many water aid stations across the course. I really didn't think you needed it. It's probably up there with the most aid stations of all the major races that I've done. You're well looked after. Don't forget your sunshade and your sun cream. Now, the weather in Chicago in October can be unpredictable, but there isn't a huge amount of shade, particularly in the second half of the course in general, so best to be prepared. Don't forget to engage with people. Chat with other runners in the expo, the participant area, the starting corrals. I always try to interact with the crowd, and Chicago has one of the very best crowds. Whether it's bantering with funny runner signs, taking on sweets from strangers, or high-fiving little kids with their hands out, all these engagements will give your race the boost, but will also, without a doubt, make your day even more special. So there you have it, my tips to avoid when running the Chicago Marathon. I hope you can tell how much I absolutely love this race, so good luck to all the runners that are running this year. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Also, don't forget to check out my top 10 tips and hacks for running the Chicago Marathon. Did I miss any out? Hit me up in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you will not miss any of my future running videos. But until next time, happy running.